Welcome to Elle's Kitchen. We are making egg roll in a bowl. Here are the ingredients that we'll need today to make this delicious entree. So what we have here is 2 pounds of ground pork, and I just picked this up at our local Target, the lean ground pork. I have it on about medium heat in this pan, and what you want to do is just really kind of mash this up and ground this up as if you were cooking ground beef. Now what I am going to add to this ground pork is sesame oil. Sesame oil, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons. Now the thing is you might think sesame seed oil is a little bit expensive, but it does go a long way. A little bit goes a long way. You can keep it in your refrigerator and it lasts for a long time. It's not terribly expensive when you think about how long you can keep it in, how many dishes you can use it in, and keep it in your refrigerator. This is the key to the egg roll in the bowl. You must have sesame seed oil. Now I am adding some chopped onions and some garlic. And so that is probably about 2 to 3 garlic cloves. And just about 1 onion that I've diced up that I'm going to cook along with the ground pork here. So again, just mixing that through so that gets cooked pretty well. Just want to make sure that, just like any other product, we're going to get this cooked through before we start adding in some of the other vegetables that don't take as long. And so mix that through. Another tip, and I don't know if any of you guys are Rachel Ray fans, she likes to use like a potato masher to really give that a quick mash. I think this is just fine. So what I am showing you here is I used about 1.5 cabbage heads. You can buy the coleslaw mix that has the cabbage and the carrots inside. I'm just showing you here. You just want to cut this in half. Just pull out the core. It's so easy. And then what I do is I'm going to just give it 3 slits, and then 3 slits, I would say, just horizontally to the lines on it, and then I'll cut it perpendicular to make just, shredded cabbage. Now you can buy, again, as I was saying earlier, the coleslaw mix, and that's perfectly fine. I just find that it's not enough, and the amount of bags that I would have to buy to really feed my family of 6 just doesn't make sense. I can buy 2 heads of cabbage, and they're like $1.19 a piece. Get a bag of shredded carrots, and I have exactly what I need for much, much cheaper. If you do not want to fool around with cutting this cabbage, just pick up the coleslaw mix, and you can use that. And that would make it super, super, super fast. But I don't mind doing this because I want to make sure that I have enough cabbage. And I personally, now I will go ahead and spend the money for the shredded carrots. Now what I am showing you here is I have a cutting board that doesn't quite go all the way down to the sink. So when I put my strainer on here and I rinse the water, it's up. So it doesn't, so the strainer is not sitting in the water. Sometimes, you pour things in your sink, and if you let the water, you know how you pour pasta and the water kind of still sits on the bottom, you can contaminate your food. But if you put kind of a cutting board on here that kind of gives it a little bridge, you can make sure that you don't contaminate anything. So I'm back to my ground pork. It is browned through with the onions and the garlic, and I just added some salt there and black pepper. So what we're going to do now is kind of season up our meal, get our cabbage added in there. Here is ginger. Now ginger, it's key to this dish. What I'm showing you is there was skin on here, and what I do when I bring my ginger home, I peel off all of the skin. I take it all off, so when I need to use it, I don't have to worry about it. And ginger can last for quite a bit of time if you do this and put it in a freezer Ziploc bag and then put it in the freezer. And then all you have to do when you're ready to use it is to take it out of that bag and you're ready to use it. It is already processed for you. It's so cheap. It's so versatile. You can use it in any Asian dish. Just pick it up. You'll find it in the onions and the garlic section. And they'll look like little knuckles, I think is what they call them. It kind of has tan skin and it's, and different shapes. So I'm grating ginger. This was out of my freezer. And so I took it out and it's ready to go. And I'm just grating it with my box grater. I do have a microplane. I broke it. So I guess I don't have it. So I need to get a new one. But this works just as well. Like I said, use what you have until you have what you need. So I'll pick up another one of those when I think about it. But I try to grate the ginger generously. If you don't have fresh ginger, I encourage you to get it. But if you don't have it, you can use the ground ginger in the spice aisle. But I think that the flavor is just so fresh and fragrant that by hands down, I would use the fresh ginger. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding my vegetables. Here's my shredded carrots. What I was trying to say earlier is I would much rather spend the money getting a bag of shredded carrots than to have to shred up carrots. I don't know what it is. I know it's not a big deal, but I don't often buy full-size carrots. I buy baby carrots, and so try shredding baby carrots, and it's a headache. So I just get the shredded carrots. So here is my 1.5 heads of cabbage, and I am going to show you. It seems like a lot, and you're like, you are not going to fit all of that in that pot. Well, cabbage is a lot like spinach and kale, that as it cooks down, it kind of withers down to nothing. Cabbage, not as much, of course, but what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and put that first batch of cabbage, and I'm going to put my lid on there just to kind of let it kind of steam and break down here. I'm going to get those stray cabbages. Trust me, my stove is clean. And so I'm going to give that a good stir, make sure I get those cabbage leaves added. I'm going to put the lid on and let that cook for a little bit so it can cook down. Now the next thing is I'm going to come back here and I'm going to add my second batch of cabbage to the pot, and you'll see that it's overflowing, but again it will cook down tremendously. And I love using lots and lots of cabbage because I have a family of 6, and so we need to either be able to eat twice, have seconds, or eat have leftovers. So again, this is the third time. I've got everything in there, the lid's on, and as you can see, it is cooked down. And it won't cook down any further than that. That's what we were left with. So now I've got my ground pork and everything at it. Here's my coconut aminos. Now let me say this about coconut aminos. I am avoiding soy, so I am using the coconut aminos, which is a great substitute. If you have soy sauce and you're not avoiding soy, use it. You do not need to run out and get coconut aminos unless you want to. It's a great substitute, but soy sauce is fine here. And so what I've done is added that, and I'm giving that a stir so I can make sure that that coconut aminos, or if you're using soy sauce, is blended well together. I'm gonna pull back here and make sure you get a proper view as I continue to stir and add things to make this egg roll in a bowl delicious. And I have to say, it's great. We've eaten this many times. We've had this several times. It is a dish that I know that I'll make over and over. My entire family likes it. It's great. And my kid just said the other day, it tastes like an egg roll. Well, there you go. Egg roll in a bowl. I'm just going to go ahead and add some more coconut aminos. You can go ahead and add more soy sauce, and you may not add as much soy sauce as I do for the coconut aminos. The only thing that I would say about the coconut aminos, it's a great substitute, but it doesn't add the salty, the umami flavor as much as soy sauce does. What you saw there is a can of bean sprouts. I normally use the ones in the bag, but they substituted my online order. So I said, let's go ahead and try these. And these were great. I might even just use these from now on. They're probably cheaper. Well, they are cheaper. And so I'm going to give that a good mix. I've had egg rolls that have bean sprouts in them. And then I have had egg rolls that don't have bean sprouts in them. If you don't like bean sprouts, then don't put them in there. The glory and the great thing about this dish is you can add what you want to add. You can see I don't give measurements to much of this because this is kind of a taste as you go. You add in what you like, you keep out what you don't like. Maybe you add a little less, maybe you add a little more. That's the great thing about this dish. If you have the ingredients, it will work itself into a dish that you like. So what I am doing here is I'm giving it a taste test. Like I said, taste this. See what you may need to add. So I've given it a thumbs up. Well, I need 2 thumbs up. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the seasoning. So I've added a little more salt. I'm going to add some pepper, a little bit more pepper. Of course, my ginger. I think that the key, once again, to this dish is ginger and sesame oil. Oh man, it just is so great. And it's just good to have around. Like I said, the sesame oil can hang out in the refrigerator, the ginger in the freezer. If you want to make any Asian dishes, it's available to use. If you want to make an Asian dressing, salad dressing, it's available for you to use. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use that to make a Thai citrus salad dressing this week. I'll let you know if it's great. And then I'm going to add a little bit more sesame oil. And just as I said before, I would say, even though I don't have exact measurements, that it's probably about 3 tablespoons in the entire batch of egg roll in a bowl as far as the sesame seed oil. And I'm going to add a little bit more coconut aminos. Again, you may not need to add as much soy sauce because soy sauce just really does have that salty umami flavor that coconut aminos that doesn't quite get there, but it's delicious the same, just the same. So I'm giving that a stir so that I can make sure that those flavors are blended well. Got my ginger, my garlic, my ground pork. And I do want to say this while you see me stirring here. You can use ground chicken. You could use ground beef. You can use whatever meat you want to use. Personally, I prefer ground pork. I think that that is what really makes it taste like egg roll in a bowl. But if you're watching, your fat content or you don't eat pork, then use ground chicken. This is totally up to you. 2 thumbs up. There it is. This is exactly how we like it. And so thank you guys for hanging out with me. Let me know if you make this recipe. Egg roll in a bowl is absolutely delicious. My family loves it, and I will see you later.